A line of roaring motorcycles idled in front of her house. Neighbors peeked through curtains, phones out, fear and curiosity mixing in the air. Monique stood on her porch, heart pounding, staring at the word traitor spray painted in red across her steps. She hadn't broken any laws. She hadn't hurt anyone. All she did was pay for a stranger's gas, one wearing a leather vest with a Hell's Angels patch. That one act would turn her world upside down. This is what happens when kindness meets prejudice. Welcome, story lovers. Where are you watching from? Comment the name of your city. Asterisk, it was a crisp autumn morning in Georgia. Monique, a 34-year-old black single mother and nurse, had just ended her third night shift in a row. Exhausted but proud, she stopped at a rural gas station on the outskirts of town, one of those places where strangers glance a little too long and silence says more than words. Still in her scrubs, she filled up her old sedan and grabbed coffee before heading home. Just as she turned to leave, she noticed a bulky man in a leather vest patting his empty pockets near a motorcycle. Without hesitation, she walked over and swiped her card to pay for his gas. He looked shocked. She smiled, waved it off, and drove away. For Monique, it was just a small act of kindness. But what she didn't know, what she couldn't know, was that this single moment would bring an army of bikers to her front door. The next morning, Monique was still half asleep when she noticed something strange. Several motorcycles lined up quietly across the street from her house. Big, loud machines gleaming chrome and black leather sat like statues. The men beside them wore Hell's Angels patches. She froze. Was this some kind of threat? She stepped onto her porch, heart pounding. One of them approached slowly, not with menace but calm purpose. "Ma'am," he said, voice low, "we just wanted to thank you." Confused, she nodded, unsure what to say. But the neighborhood noticed. By noon, rumors were flying. Why were they here? What did she do to attract bikers? By sunset, a different kind of attention arrived. Police cruisers rolled by more than usual. Her neighbor crossed the street just to say, "Be careful who you hang out with." The look in her eyes said more fear, judgment, suspicion. Days passed and Monique began receiving calls at work. "You're bringing trouble into our community." She was pulled into her supervisor's office. Someone had anonymously reported her for questionable associations. It didn't matter that she'd helped someone in need. All that mattered to them was who she helped, the kindness she gave. In a split second was now being weaponized against her. People whispered at church. Her son came home asking why kids at school said his mom rides with criminals. And just when Monique thought it couldn't get worse, she woke up to find "traitor" spray painted in red across her front steps. Asterisk, Monique stood frozen in her doorway, staring at the blood-red word "traitor" sprayed across her front steps. Her hands trembled as her son clutched her leg, asking, "Mom, are we in danger?" She didn't know what to say. That night, headlights flashed through her windows every hour. A brick shattered her mailbox. And still no one came forward, no one offered help. The people she had lived beside for years now watched her like a threat. The final blow came when her employer placed her on administrative leave pending investigation. No warnings, no hearing. Just a silent message, "You don't belong here anymore." As Monique packed up her things, she realized this wasn't about a gas station. It was about who people believe deserves compassion and who doesn't. She never imagined the simple act of kindness would cost her everything. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like, it really helps. Monique eventually moved out of the neighborhood. The whispers never stopped, the damage never truly healed. But she never regretted helping that stranger because kindness, she believed, shouldn't depend on skin color, uniforms, or patches. Days after the incident, a letter arrived from the biker she helped. Inside was a simple note. "You reminded me the world still has good in it." Alongside it, donations from dozens of bikers, enough to help Monique start fresh somewhere new. But the scars remain. Not just hers, but a society's, where acts of kindness by Black women are met with suspicion. Where neighbors stay silent and justice is selective. This wasn't just Monique's story. It's the story of countless others who are judged not for what they do, but for who they are. So ask yourself, what side of history are you standing on? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.